In the 7th century AD, the land we now call Laos was a mosaic of small, vibrant communities nestled along the Mekong River. Among them was Muang Sua, a growing trade hub near modern Luang Prabang. Around 698 AD, this settlement became the stage for a critical conflict, a battle against the formidable Nan Chao Kingdom from what is now southern China. The Battle of Muang Sua is a fleeting moment in the historical record, yet it offers a window into the early struggles for power and identity in Southeast Asia. This essay explores the context, the battle itself, and its lasting significance for the proto-Lao people. To understand this clash, we must first set the scene. The 7th century was a time of flux in mainland Southeast Asia. The region was a crossroads of trade, culture, and conflict, with goods like rice, textiles, and precious metals flowing along the Mekong. Small chiefdoms, or muang, dotted the landscape, each led by a chieftain who commanded local loyalty. Muang Sua was one such center, strategically positioned to control river trade routes. Its prosperity made it a target. To the north, the Nan Chao Kingdom was rising. Based in modern Yunnan, Nan Chao was a confederation of Tibeto-Burman tribes unified under ambitious leaders. By the late 7th century, they sought to expand southward, eyeing the fertile valleys and trade networks of northern Laos. Nan Chao's warriors were disciplined, equipped with bronze weapons and supported by cavalry, a rarity in the region's dense jungles. Their expansionist aims put them on a collision course with Muang Sua. The people of Muang Sua were likely early Tai speakers, ancestors of the modern Lao. They lived in stilted villages, farmed rice, and traded with neighbors like the Mon and Khmer. Their warriors, though less centralized than Nan Chao's, were adept at guerrilla tactics, using the region's hills and forests to their advantage. They wielded spears, bows, and short swords, and some sources suggest they deployed small war elephants, a symbol of power in Southeast Asian warfare. The lead-up to the battle is murky, as written records from 7th century Laos are virtually non-existent. What we know comes from later chronicles like the Annals of Lan Xang and Chinese accounts of Nan Chao's campaigns. Around 698 AD, Nan Chao launched a southern incursion, likely seeking tribute and control over trade routes. Muang Sua, as a prosperous Muang, was a prime target. The local chieftain, whose name is lost to history, rallied his forces to defend the settlement. The battle itself unfolded in the rugged terrain around Muang Sua. Nan Chao's army, numbering perhaps a few thousand, approached along the Mekong's tributaries. They relied on infantry and light cavalry suited for rapid strikes. The Lao defenders, likely fewer in number, used the landscape to their advantage. Hills and dense forests allowed them to harass the invaders with ambushes, firing arrows from cover and retreating before Nan Chao could counter. War elephants, though few, played a role. These animals, adorned with armor, could scatter enemy lines and boost morale. However, their effectiveness was limited in the tight, uneven terrain. The Lao also fortified Muang Sua's core, possibly with wooden palisades, to protect its market and sacred sites, including early Buddhist shrines. The fighting was brutal but brief, spanning days rather than weeks. Nan Chao's superior numbers and organization pressed the defenders hard. Yet the Lao held firm, using hit-and-run tactics to wear down the invaders. Eventually, Nan Chao withdrew, possibly due to overstretched supply lines or resistance from other Muang. Muang Sua remained intact, its autonomy preserved. Why did the Lao succeed? Several factors stand out. First, the terrain favored the defenders. Nan Chao's cavalry struggled in the jungles and their supply lines were vulnerable. Second, the Laos' knowledge of the land allowed them to outmaneuver a larger force. Finally, the chieftain's leadership, though undocumented in detail, must have been decisive in uniting the community. The aftermath of the battle was significant, if subtle. Muang Sua's survival reinforced its status as a regional hub, laying the groundwork for its later prominence as Luang Prabang. The battle also signaled that the proto-Lao could resist external powers, a theme that would echo through centuries of Lao history. Nan Chao, while still dominant, shifted focus elsewhere, leaving the Lao Muang to develop independently. Culturally, the battle may have strengthened early Buddhist traditions in Muang Sua. Shrines and stupas already present became symbols of resilience. The Lao began to see themselves as distinct, even as they absorbed influences from neighbors like the Khmer and Mon. This sense of identity would later coalesce into the kingdom of Lan Xang in the 14th century. The scarcity of sources makes the Battle of Muang Sua hard to pin down. Chinese records mention Nan Chao's southern campaigns, but lack specifics on Laos. Lao chronicles, written centuries later, blend fact and myth. Archaeological evidence, pottery, bronze tools, and early stupas confirms Muang Sua's importance but offers no battle details. Still, the clash fits a broader pattern of resistance against northern invaders seen across Southeast Asia. Comparing Muang Sua to other 7th century battles, like those of the Khmer against Champa, highlights its scale. It was a local affair, not a grand imperial campaign, but its stakes were high for the proto-Lao. The battle preserved their autonomy at a time when larger powers like Nan Chao and the early Tang Dynasty loomed large. The legacy of Muang Sua endures in modern Laos. Luang Prabang, its successor, remains a cultural and spiritual heart, with temples like Wat Sieng Thong echoing the early Buddhist sites of the 7th century. The battle, though obscure, reminds us of the resilience of small communities in the face of empires. It's a testament to the proto-Lao's ability to adapt, fight, and endure. Reflecting on the Battle of Muang Sua, we see a snapshot of a formative moment. It's not just a story of war, but of a people carving out their place in a complex world. The Mekong's banks, then as now, were a stage for survival and ambition. For the Lao, Muang Sua was a stand that echoed through the centuries, shaping a nation's identity. Let's pause to consider what this battle teaches us. In an era of empires, a small Muang stood its ground, proving that determination and geography could defy the odds. The Battle of Muang Sua, though shrouded in time, is a chapter in the enduring story of Laos, a story of resilience, identity, and quiet triumph.